Hello again. This video is about Adam and Lilith, the creation story, or I guess Genesis, pre-Genesis. Our Bible kind of edits out the whole Lilith thing, or the modern Bible edits out Lilith, and I guess you have to go to other places to find out what is this about Lilith and Adam, or Adam and Lilith, and why is she not in the story? It's just Adam and Eve. So Lilith was created at the same time as Adam. The best way I can the best way I think I can see Lilith is if Adam is the sun, Lilith is the dark sun. You know, that thing that they say doesn't exist. Dark doesn't mean evil. It's basically yin and yang, like the counterbalance, the opposite. They are twins designed to be with each other. However, Lilith is identical to Adam, except her abilities, I guess, are the reverse. Twin flames are based on yin and yang. So I mean, everybody always talks about how twin flames are your soul tie or your connection or you're meant to be, but and I guess in a sense, yes, you are, but your twin flame can act very karmic towards you, or can act like if you're yin, can act like you're yang, basically opposite of you. So when you think you're doing something, they could be doing something that hinders your emotion, kind of the opposite of what you do. Why is this important? Well, it's omitted, and it's important. I guess you'll see why it's important as I go on. Okay, so creation story in Genesis. If you look at the Torah, right? If you look at the Torah, how it starts off, it talks about the Garden of Eden and how Adam and Eve were kicked out of the garden because Eve took a bite of the apple, and in doing so, Adam followed, and so their punishment was to be kicked out. But it's not exactly the way that it went down. So there were three characters involved. As you know, there was the serpent, which they say is the snake, but specifically, the Torah talks about a serpent, doesn't identify the serpent as being a snake. So the serpent beguiles Eve, or persuades Eve to take of the apple by telling her that she can be all powerful or as God. So the serpent played on what Eve's strength, what Eve's desire was, which was to be omnipotent or powerful, or like the creator. That was her sin, was wanting more than she was meant to have, if it makes sense, or desiring power, basically desiring power. Adam's sin was different from Eve's sin. Adam ate of the apple because he didn't want to be either left behind, like, Eve got all this power, all this knowledge, and Adam is now alone again, as well as when the creator popped up and said, "Hey, what y'all doing?" And Adam's like, nothing. So he's right away, he lied. And then when the creator's like, "Yo, I know what y'all did," he's like, "Well, that woman that you gave me, she, tricked me into eating the apple," which was also Adam's sin. having an individual mind means you're supposed to act as an individual, not following. And Adam followed. I mean, his intentions may have been, could have been even, some of his intentions may have been even pure or good. He may have not only done it because he didn't want to be left behind, but he also may have done it because, I guess, in the same factor, knowing that if Eve had accelerated so much, why would she want him anymore? He didn't want to be alone. So yeah, I think loneliness was his main reason for eating that apple. I don't think Adam sought power the way Eve did. He just didn't want to be left alone. So go down further through that story, and I think I'll probably try to throw a link in to explain further this part of it, because this is the part that is misinterpreted in our in the Bible and in Torah. So it says that basically God threw them out of the garden. But if you look at it verbatim, it doesn't exactly say that. Verbatim, it says that God tossed out Eve. No, sorry, God tossed out Adam and the serpent. But Eve was not tossed out of the garden. Eve remained while Adam was kicked out. And I think this is where people don't understand, or the misunderstanding comes in. So Eve was basically kept, and door slammed shut, or guard put at the door so that Adam couldn't come in, or she couldn't leave, or whatever it was, and she was kept in the garden. Adam was put out with the serpent. The time that they were put out, okay, backtrack a bit more. Okay, so the serpent, I believe the serpent was Lilith. Now, Lilith should have been, from what I understood, should have been banned from the garden earlier, but under some pretenses, I guess she was able to enter, or she had made her way back into the garden somehow. But she was in there, and she was the one that tempted Eve. So she tempted Eve. Adam got put out with Lilith, and Eve remained in the garden. Now, what it goes on to further say in the Torah is that Eve is the mother of all creation. It doesn't say Eve is the mother of man. However, we all assume that she must have come out of the garden at some time, because man had to procreate and become man or multiply. But that is not what happened. Eve remained in the garden, and Adam procreated with Lilith. We are not a product of Adam and Eve. We are a product of Adam and Lilith. Lilith is the mother of man. Now, don't get me wrong. Eve is the mother of all creation. That means she's the mother of all creation. Flowers, all the animals. She is the reason. Her punishment. God punished her for what her crime was. Her punishment was seeking power. So she was given all of it. She was given all of Adam's duties. Adam was the one who was originally created to maintain the garden. He was basically the one to take care of all creation, or to the mother of all creation. I guess he would have been the father of all creation, but he was the one who had to tend to all living things. This role went to Eve because she coveted it. So she became the she became the mother of all creation. She is the one who we look to as Mother Earth. So yes, that is Eve. Adam and Lilith went on the outside and created man. It's a mouthful. I know it's a little confusing. So our traits. So Adam's punishment is different from Eve's because Adam's sin was that he didn't want to be lonely. So Adam essentially became lonely. I mean, you'll see that in different places. I guess in different. I don't know if it's the Torah. You'll find that Adam spent a lot of time wandering alone because I mean he was basically immortal-ish, and he spent a lot of time walking or discovering the earth on his own. So his punishment, loneliness, and Lilith didn't want to be with Adam, but I mean, yeah, she definitely procreated with him, but she was not the type to stay with Adam. She didn't have a problem with being, I guess, alone because she wanted to be at the top. She wanted to do things her way, and Adam was already an independent mind. He did things on his own. She did things on her own. So Adam, by default, ended up having to spend a lot more time with himself, becoming more comfortable with himself, starting to appreciate, I guess, his self. So God gave Eve what she coveted and gave Adam what he lied to prevent. She wanted power. She got all the power. She's always working. She's taking care of everything at all, always. I mean, that's her job. She wanted to be the. I mean, sometimes you remember watching. I remember watching shows or movies, and it's always this theme is the wicked person wants to take over the world. They want to take over the world, and then there's some that actually end up taking over the world, and they're always like the first thing, like, okay, well, what do we do now? We took over the world. Now we're bored because we took over the world. I think that's the punishment that Eve had to eat because she took over the world, and God just gave it to her. It's like, hey, you want it so bad, here. What are you gonna do now? Day in and day out, she's got to take care of everything, make sure everything's running, make sure everything's working, make sure everything's working, make sure things are growing, make sure things are popping off. It's just a big, and she's doing it alone. What she desired was that power. Adam desired not to be lonely. He got to first-hand experience lonesomeness. And I'm sure it was a time before he was lonely for a time before he decided to procreate with Lilith, and then even after, I'm sure there was some loneliness after that as well. Kids grow up, they leave the coop, they leave the roost, and now you're alone again. So perpetual cycle of always having to be alone. You got to get used to yourself, loving your own time on your own. I don't know if this makes sense to anybody. It's just, I've been pressured to put this. I'm not saying pressured. I love the information that comes to me, and I don't know if I'm going to have to redo this video because it makes sense to me, but I don't know if it's going to make sense to anybody else. So I'll pray out and see if I'm supposed to put it out there. But like I said, come with your questions. It's probably easier for me to answer questions than to explain. But like I said, there has been others who have done many videos on this exactly that I'm saying, except they have not put the piece together where we are of Lilith instead of Eve. That was specifically what I had gotten, what had been given to me. So I have to put that out there. That's the little, I guess, chink in the chain, or the little thing that makes things different. I mean, everything's up to interpretation. I could be wrong, like I'm saying, maybe I got it down wrong, but I feel pretty confident in this because it's been sitting with me for over a year. Anyways, I will put this out, and I guess we'll find out what different people have to say about it. Thanks for listening, and remember again, I am still learning.